morning, happy 10 a.m. show, as Manchester United should be making a £60 million bid for Fernandes this weekend. There is loads going on in the domino effect of the Manchester United transfer window. I mean, the transfer window in general. Real Madrid, they could be bidding huge money, potentially, for a PSG midfielder, which then will affect the domino effect of PSG going for Fernandes. Could Manchester United be going for Tchouameni? Could this all be a huge spin to end up going back to Carlos Baleba, who is a one-horse race with Manchester United? Is it going to be Ederson, Carlos Baleba and Alex Scott? We have some news coming out on Alex Scott and Carlos Baleba as well, but I really want to get into this Tchouameni versus Fernandes story, as a lot of it could rest on what happens with PSG and Real Madrid. They could be working together, we don't know. Could super agent Jorge Mendes be in on this? We will talk about it on the show this morning. Thank you everybody for joining. Get your comments in, smash a like on the video, let me know what you're thinking, let me know what you're feeling. All I know is that there's reports coming out that Manchester City could be going for Tonali if they don't get Elliot Anderson. I said to my friend last night, I said, do you think there could be a world in which Manchester City leave the Elliot Anderson race, go all in for Tonali, and then Man United could go back in for Elliot Anderson? And they said, Beth, wake up and smell the coffee. I see a world in which Manchester City get both and Manchester United have Ederson and Carlos Baleba. And I said, don't tell me that. Do not tell me that. Look, I want to have trust in this transfer window. I really want to have faith, and I'm not going to judge it until it's over. However, this midfield rebuild is absolutely massive, and we have to get it spot on. We can also bring in some quotes from Omar Barada as well, talking about how they have a plan. They need to stick to the plan. Well, I'm hoping our plan doesn't end up going down the list of our midfield options because they're all too expensive. We need to make sure that we go and get the players that are going to take this team to the next level and can do that for the next decade. So I want to get into it. Real Madrid, Florentino Perez has been dropping some bombs. Let's get into the show. So I think I want to start off. I mean, I heard on TalkSport this morning, Alex Crook was talking and he was saying about going back to Baleba. We'll get into that later on the show, but I think we need to start off with Fernandes. Man United can get this Fernandes deal done, but they need to start it pretty quickly before PSG get involved in this race. I said it before and I'll say it again. If PSG comes into a race right now, they're a huge attraction. I know that the French league isn't the most, decorated league in Europe, we know that. However, that is a huge project with Luis Enrique leading it, who's won back-to-back Champions Leagues, and their team is turned into a super team. It's massively attractive for any player, whether Fernandes' idol is Bruno Fernandes, whether he supports Manchester United or not. That is a huge attraction. And if Florentino Perez does put that €150 million bid in, which we're going to get into in a second, for João Neves or Vitinha, on Tuesday, he said he's going to put it on Tuesday, then PSG could go for Fernandes straight away. Yes, that could lead to us potentially getting Tchouameni. We'll talk about that. However, they are slightly different positions. But that could see Fernandes slip through our fingers. So this weekend is a huge moment for Manchester United to get ahead in that race. Because if you wait too soon, that bid starts going in on Tuesday. That could heat up with PSG pretty quickly and they could have that plan in place. So from now over the weekend is going to be a huge moment for Manchester United to get their footing on that Fernandes race. So let's get into what happened last night and why this is all happening and what the domino effect could be. So the reason why I think this Fernandes deal could move very quickly is because United might have to move quickly. They cannot afford to hesitate. We've seen with Brian Mbeumo deal in the past, even with the Cunha deal, which was a simple release clause, these deals have dragged on a bit. I mean, the Mbeumo one is very prominent in my mind as dragging on for quite a long time. If PSG get involved in this race, we can't afford that. And it's going to be very interesting to see if PSG do get involved in this race. Ben Jacobs putting out again late last night that PSG are tracking Fernandes and they're really keen on the player. So that was quite a significant update coming out last night. If PSG do enter this race, how are Manchester United going to deal with another club being involved? People can talk about, well, Newcastle were involved with the Sesko race last summer. Newcastle were involved with the Mbeumo race last summer. And even Arsenal were sort of looking a little bit. But very early doors, you got buy-ins from the players from Sesko and from Mbeumo that they just wanted Manchester United. When PSG get involved, is it going to be the same thing? Are they going to just put the money down on the table? We'll have to wait and see. But they are a huge club to be getting into a transfer battle with. And that is why Manchester United, I don't think they can move at their own pace on this. I think they are going to have to move quicker than that they would do. I mean, they're definitely going to have to move quicker on what they would have done with their Mbumo deal. So, the reason why this could all speed up is because of Real Madrid. So, Florentino Perez last night was dropping some absolute bombers. I mean, we talk about David Ornstein, talk about Fabrizio Romano, Florentino Perez coming out here, you know, dropping all the bombs last night. This is what he said. He said, I will send an €150 million bid on Tuesday for a top player from a Champions League team. He then said the €150 million bid will not be for Michael Olise. He's a great player, but it will not be for him. It will not be for Erling Haaland. It will not be for Harry Kane. Jeremy Doku, nope, it will not be for him. Jeremy Doku getting into that category, by the way. That's how good of a season he's had. I mean, mad. But anyway, he continues to say the official €150 million bid will not be for a Premier League player. And then that begs the question, what Champions League player is worth €150 million that he's going to put the money down on the table for that doesn't play for PSG? Isn't Harry Kane? Isn't Michael Olise? What player is that? He says this bid will be for a Cristiano Ronaldo or Kaká level player. He's a Galactico. Again, PSG, PSG, PSG. He says Mourinho, Konate, Dumfries, and then soon to come, the biggest offer in Real Madrid history. The one we will send on Tuesday will be a club record bid, and we are ready to pay for an over €150 million fee. It is not for a defender. It could be for a midfielder or forward. And then he gets asked, we believe the €150 million superstar is not a forward because you already have Mbappe, Vinicius, etc. He said, well, in Madrid, you always need more, but the €150 million player is a young player. He is at Galactico. No, it's not Enzo Fernandes. And then Fabrizio Romano came out and said, keep an eye on PSG. So Fabrizio Romano followed up with that update saying it's not Enzo Fernandes. They've been very highly linked to him. Keep an eye on PSG. So I think we would all be absolutely gobsmacked at this point if it's not a PSG player. And then it just begs the question, is it a midfielder? Is it a forward player? You know, is it going to be Kvaratskhelia? Is it going to be Ousmane Dembele? Is it going to be Vitinha? Is it going to be João Neves? Who are they going to put that bid down on the table for? Because it could be many players of PSG. It really, really could be. But if you go off the transfer rumours that have been circling Real Madrid for quite a significant portion of time now, you would suggest it's going to be a midfielder. They've been linked to Rodri. They've been linked to Enzo Fernandez. There's rumours that they're going to go big on the midfield this summer. They've already signed Konate and Dumfries. You would think it's going to be a midfielder. And that makes me think, is it going to be João Neves? If it is João Neves, then I suspect PSG will move pretty quickly for one of their top targets, which is Matheus Fernandes, and then Tchouameni might be on the table. I keep seeing people say Tchouameni could be on the table for Manchester United. Tchouameni is a different profile to a João Neves and to a Vitinha. He is. He's more of a deep line midfielder. So it might not mean that Tchouameni is on the table. However, we have had a significant update from Ty Marshall in the MEN that I'm going to bring in. That is a positive outlook on Tchouameni, and Manchester United really could be in that race, which gives me a bit of positivity. But as much as I'm going to come to some super chats in a second as well, because I want you guys to get involved in this. As much as I'm sat here and I'm thinking to myself, oh, we could be getting Tchouameni. We could move this weekend for Matheus Fernandes. Come on, Manchester United, let's get this done. In the back of my head, niggling away, I just have this feeling that Tchouameni might get shut down. Fernandes might end up going to PSG, and we could have a midfield three of Ederson, Baleba and Alex Scott going into next season. Of course, we've got Kobbie Mainoo as well. And I don't want to disrespect them players because I think they've all got attributes in their own right. But that isn't the midfield rebuild that goes and wins you and competes for a Premier League, which is what Omar Barada was talking about last night. And I saw a bit of Goldbridge's show at the end of last night, and he was saying that, you know, is he having a laugh, you know, going winning a Premier League next year? I actually disagree with that. I think if Manchester United have a good transfer window, we absolutely can go and compete for a Premier League next year if you look at all the other teams. Call me delusional all you want, but I think that is a possibility, and I always think Manchester United should be aiming to do that. Things can move very quickly in football, as we can see, but two things don't add up. Saying you want to go and compete for the Premier League and then having a midfield rebuild that doesn't, which is one of the most important rebuilds in Manchester United's history in a long time, that midfield rebuild, and not go and getting the top caliber of players to do that, they don't merge together. So I'm a little bit worried. I feel like everything's up in the air now. These midfield targets can change any second. You know, Manchester United have been highly linked to Tonali, Tchouameni, Elliot Anderson, Carlos Baleba, Mateus Fernandes, Alex Scott. All of these players, we're probably only going to sign 1 or 2 more. I'm hoping to God it's going to be 2. Who it's going to be could massively depend on PSG and Real Madrid. And we've got to watch and wait. And I can see people getting in some comments right now thinking who it's going to be. I'm going to come to some super chats. A lot of people thinking it's going to be Kvaratskhelia. Why would it be Kvaratskhelia though? Because they've got Vinicius Jr. Unless Vinicius Jr. is going to move on, but I know there's been rumours of that, but I don't see it happening. You're not going to play Vinicius Jr. and Kvaratskhelia together. Also, they've got Mbappe, and I know Mbappe's been playing up front, and there's been a little bit of tension behind the scenes, but I don't think they're going to throw a player like Mbappe away who's got that sort of